Good morning. 2020's been an interesting year so far, hasn't it? Let's face it, it's been a fucking disaster. Good morning! Welcome back to my life. It's very bright. We have a sausage. Hello, sausage. Hello, sausage. She's getting big now. Look at the length. Look at the length on this dog. It's been an interesting year. There's been a zombie apocalypse. Much crazy shit has happened. And I was like, well, then 2020 looked at me square in the face and said, bitch, I'm not finished with you. I can't believe we live in a time where I have to give a trigger warning to my own feelings, but my way of dealing with shit in life is to make jokes and use humor as a coping mechanism because, you know, I'm the sort of person, if I get sad, given to the despair, then I will not get out of bed. This is going to be a somewhat serious video, but I do not want to be somewhat serious, so if you are the sort of person who is offended by the fact that I am being light-hearted about it, I do apologise, but it's my life and I'll laugh if I want to. You just drink my tea. You shouldn't even be licking me because you are in fact a shit eater. Can I see, please? I need to be able to see. I'm surrounded by dogs as always. Maybe some people who are going through similar things might be like, you know what? This girl's not giving into the despair and I'm going through the same thing, but I want somebody who is feeling happy and positive about it. I am going to be your shining happy beacon of example of using humour as a coping mechanism. So if that's what you're after, sign on up. I've been having investigations into my health for a while because I don't want to go into the really gory details, but basically I was bringing up, this is gory details, so I was bringing up blood in my spit on a morning. Understandably, I was concerned about this, so I went to the doctors and they said to me, oh, it might be a stomach ulcer, and they put me on some stomach medication for 4 weeks. After 4 weeks, the blood did not go away. It was getting more regular. Every single morning, without fail, I was getting blood in my spit. So I went back to the doctors and I was like, excuse me, there is still blood in my spit. And they were like, They said they were going to investigate, and the only way to investigate was to put a camera down. And I was like, okay, I don't really want a camera down. And then the pandemic happened. Because of the zombie apocalypse, they were no longer doing cameras down people's throats. During the pandemic, I was getting more concerned about the blood situation, and also as well as the blood, I was having pain right behind and above in my chest bone area. These dogs really set the scene, don't they? Hello! Order! We were in the middle of a zombie apocalypse and the blood was still there, and I was like, zombie apocalypse or not, I need to go back to the doctors. And the pain was getting more persistent. So I went back to the doctors and they were like, you don't fit the criteria of, you know, going to the doctors. And I was like, bitch, I'm bringing up blood in my spit. This ain't good, honey. And they were like, no, it isn't. They were like, right, we'll send you for chest x-ray. The chest x-ray was fine. And then, like, the blood and the pain kept getting worse. So I went back again in the pandemic, zombie apocalypse, mask and all. They were like, what we can do is a CT scan. That will be a more in-depth scan. So they did a CT scan during the zombie apocalypse. It showed a shadow, and they were like, it's okay, we think it's this thing called your thymus gland, and if you don't know what a thymus gland is, don't worry, don't feel silly. Not many people know. It's basically a little gland that you get when you're growing up. When you're hitting puberty, it controls your hormones and it's really important for your immune system. This is a quick science lesson for you. And then when you get older, it becomes useless and pointless and it just sits there in your body. So they thought it was basically a remnant, like a bit of leftover gland that they were finding on the CT scan. So they're like, don't worry, it's nothing to worry about, you're not dying, it's all fine, but we're gonna get the chest people just to look at it, you know, just in case. Just in case, but you're not dying, they're just looking at it just in case, you're fine, don't worry about it. And I was like, okay, should I worry? They were like, no, don't worry. And I was like, but I'm worried. So after a long ass period of them still not telling me whether or not there was something wrong, I was like, what is going on? Is it something to worry about or not? And they referred me to a specialist, and the specialist said, I'm still not worried, but we're sending you to another hospital to be looked at by a specialist who will either take out your thymus gland or do a biopsy. And I was like, huh? Hold up. So basically, even though they were saying there was nothing wrong and they still think it's my thymus gland, they were sending me to a specialist to take my thymus gland out or do a biopsy. And I was like, if there's nothing wrong, why do you want to do a biopsy? I went to see a specialist at the other hospital. The specialist sat me down and in a nutshell said, we think it might be cancer. It might not be cancer, but there's a chance it is cancer. So we want to take out your thymus gland and do a biopsy on it to see if you've got cancer. So to conclude, I may have cancer. I may not have cancer, but but the may having it part is obviously the part I'm concerned about, the I might have it part. It's interesting. They basically said we have to take it out because if we leave it and it is cancer, then it can get worse, and obviously we don't want that. And if we leave it and it gets bigger, then you'll have to have an even more serious operation. So to cut a long story short, I'm having an operation to take out a mass that they found in my chest, which might be cancer. If it is cancer, they've got to decide which cancer, if it's a serious cancer, if it's not a serious cancer. But the good news is my lungs look clear. So I have to go into hospital, and because we're in the middle of a zombie apocalypse, I have to go in alone. The puppy's biting my hair. With nobody with me. And I might be in there for about 4 days, and they basically have to do an operation. A robot's doing it, so they've got robots doing operations now. Do I trust the robot to save my life? I'm not sure, but I don't really have a choice. I asked them outright, I was like, look, level with me, bitch. Do you think it's cancer or not? And they said, well, the way it's lit up on the scan, it very well could be. And they said it might not be, but it also very well could be. And I was like, oh, okay. They were like, we won't know until we take it out. So basically they're taking it out. And in order to take it out, I have to have a robot go into the side of my chest. And then they have to collapse one of my lungs temporarily. And then they have to take it out. And then they have to, do the rest of it. I have to stay in hospital for maybe 4 days. When I get out, I cannot drive for 4 weeks. I have to wait 2 weeks to see if I have in fact have the cancer. This is a really charming list of risks that I got to read through for fun. So it says risks: mortality, bleeding, infection, poor wound healing, prolonged air leak, that sounds fun, an embolism, an arrhythmia, I don't know what that is, an infarction, apraxia, pain, injury to the phrenic nerve, hoarseness of voice, they didn't mention that little gem, complications, reoccurrence. So there you go. If it doesn't go to plan, they have to slice me down my chest, break my breastbone and do it that way, which they used to do regularly for this exact procedure. But luckily we live in a time where they have a robot who, I've never met him, but apparently the robot is more experienced and doesn't have to slice my chest open and can go in the side. So it's less invasive. So basically that's it, okay? I might have cancer, and we're in the middle of a zombie apocalypse and I have to go into hospital on my own with no family there. The part that's not the most fun is the fact that I'm gonna have to go into hospital, and God forbid I die on the table or whatever, because there's always lovely risks involved in surgery. Then my family cannot be with me. So it's not the best. I'm obviously not ecstatic about the fact that I have to go in hospital and I can't have any visitors. So I'm gonna vlog it. That's why I'm telling you about all this, because you're gonna see me in hospital. If they allow me to vlog in hospital, I don't even know, because I've never vlogged in hospital before or been in hospital to vlog. I've been in hospital, but I wasn't vlogging then. It'll make me feel better if I am allowed to vlog in hospital, because then I can, talk to my camera instead of people, which is, going to be such a comfort to me. If you're going through something similar, then hopefully this can be helpful, or maybe it'll just be interesting to watch. So I will be in isolation for 2 weeks beforehand, and then I will be isolating afterwards. So we've just got out of lockdown and I'm going into lockdown. Isn't 2020 the best? At least I've got dogs. You should like, subscribe, share, and all that jazz. Okay, I'll see you in the next episode of my life. At least there's dogs. Doggy, doggy, doggies. Goodbye. Say goodbye. Goodbye.